I promise you by the end of this video, you're going to find the perfect gym split that will help you reach the gains that you are dreaming of this year. So today we're going to be ranking gym splits. We're going to be putting them in a tier list and going onto a whiteboard to break down exactly what my thought process is into reaching this conclusion for each rank, as well as why I would pick this. And so before we go into that, we want to talk about what makes a good gym split. And so the first thing we really want to look for is 2 to 3 times frequency, right? Because this allows for you to constantly hit the muscle group a lot, which allows for more stimulus and more growth and more mechanical tension. And as well as you want good volume, right? Low volume, high frequency will typically be the best. You know, some studies are coming out that's showing it doesn't really matter. To me, I find it's best for recovery, for energy, for your time. So 2 to 3 times frequency is definitely when you want to look for it in a split. How enjoyable it is another big thing. You know, if you're not enjoying a split, what's the point? You're not going to stay consistent with something you don't enjoy, right? And so definitely look for one that you would enjoy. And we're going to go into that with these splits that we're going to talk about today. Like I said, with the frequency, you also want to look at a volume of the split, how much sets you're doing per muscle group each day that you're working, you know, the routine that it is. And you want to look at the flexibility of it, right? If you miss one day, does it throw off a whole muscle group for the whole thing? How much time, how much yada, 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 right? Just how much flexibility does it allow you to have when you're working out? And so let's go straight into it. So the first split we have here on the tier list is the Arnold split. And I'm just going to have to put this in C tier straight up. Wait, no, I'm thinking of a different split. Arnold split, I'll put this, I'll say B tier. I think B tier is a fair spot to put this split in. So the Arnold split consists of chest, back, shoulder, arms, leg, abs, and it repeats basically. And so it does meet that 2 times frequency criteria. The volume though is kind of my issue with it, because lots of people program it, right? Where you're doing 3 sets on, you know, an incline, and then another 3 on a chest press, and then a low to high raise. And then after you're going to back, which is another very high demanding muscle, and then you're doing another 3 sets, and then another 3, and then another 3. And while it's not exactly bad and you can make progress, I myself used to run Arnold Split and I loved it and it was a lot of fun. It gets really tiring, right? You're gonna get fatigued really early on in your workout when you're blasting like 9 freaking sets for your muscle group, right? And if let's say you're doing 3 sets in total for each movement, it's like, well, why would you choose Arnold Splits, right? It's just very demanding. Obviously it's not bad. It's not a bad split by any means. You can really make progress. I know a lot of people who have and still run it and do really good. So I'm not against it at all. I'm not saying it's bad, but I put it in B tier just because the flexibility with it is kind of iffy. You know, me personally, I got really tired really quick with it, even with a rest day. I found myself skipping legs a lot with it. So that's why I would put it in B tier. It's just not my thing really anymore, but it is good. Would recommend it if you are looking for something like that. And so the next split we're going to talk about is the bro split. I'm just putting it in C tier, you know, unless you're on, you know, steroids or some sort of PED, I would just not recommend it. You know, the bro split consists of focusing on one muscle group each day. You can make it work if you're just doing high volume, right? That's what it is, you know, high volume and high intensity, right? You're going to be doing lots of sets to reach that volume criteria of like 9 to whatever it is you may be aiming for, you know. Usually I try to aim for like 9 sets a week per muscle group, around there, or even more depending on stuff, right? And so when you're doing that, let's say with chest and then back and then shoulders and then arms and legs, well, if you miss one day or skip one day, you're missing out on a whole entire stimuli of your entire week for one muscle group. And it gets very tiring because every day you're going to be there. Now the pump, the enjoyability is awesome. You know, it's very enjoyable seeing that pump in one muscle group and you're like, holy crap, I look insane. You know, I tried it before with my dad. He loves the split. I don't, just because of, you know, the science and the frequency of each muscle group. It's high volume and high intensity, which I just don't find is good for your CNS system. That is why I would put it so low. People like Adam you do it, and lots of people on PEDs, and obviously it works because you recover faster. But even then, it's just like if you recover faster and you can handle more, why not just do other splits So, one times frequency, just not really my thing. And so the next one here is full body. Let's just pretend that's full body every other day. I would honestly put this A tier. I think full body every other day is good. It is a split that consists of doing a full body workout every other day. And typically you do one set for every major muscle group along with 1 to 2 warm-up sets. It explains it there, so you're doing full body rest, full body rest, full body. And while it is good, the flexibility is not really there. It's going to take 2 hours to run through it because, you have to warm up for a bunch of stuff and you have to grind it out for every single muscle group in your body. So unless you're unemployed, go for it. But if you're not, it's very difficult to maintain it. You get tired, you get burnt out. It's not that fun for me. For other people, I know it is, but you do get really good frequency, like I was talking about before, and I preach about, which is why I would put it at A tier, right? If you're looking for that frequency, it is in here. You can definitely get it, but I also do think you can get it in other ways. But if you're trying to rest a lot and be a chud, rest, and then on the weekends rest and still get 3 times frequency, definitely go for it. It is good, which is why I would put it A tier or even arguably S tier, but I put it A tier just because of how demanding it is, but it is definitely very good. And so the next split I do want to talk about is push-pull legs. I would put this in A tier, not above full body every other day, but it is very good because it allows you to, as you can see here, let's just pretend it's interchangeable, push-pull legs or legs and then whatever. You're still getting 2 times frequency, but it does demand way more days, 6 days on to reach that 2 times frequency, which can be demanding, not only on your time, but also on your body, right? You're like, I keep stressing about with stuff, your CNS system, right? It is gonna cook you eventually and you're gonna start to plateau and get tired. That's what happened to me on my first year of lifting when I did push-pull legs. I was making good progress. I was doing compound movements, but it catches up to your body and you start getting really tired, right? So push is basically your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Legs is legs. Sometimes there's legs A and B, and they do that with other stuff. And then pull is back and biceps and your forearms and whatever, right? And so I would not do push-pull legs by itself, but rather I would do push-pull legs times upper-lower. And so you're doing push-pull legs, and then you can rest, and then do upper-lower, or just do push-pull legs upper-lower, and then just rest on the weekends, right? Both are good. That is a better version of push-pull legs in my opinion, because with push-pull legs, you just burn yourself. With push-pull legs upper-lower, you get 2 rest days. And so it's a lot more feasible. It's fun, especially on the push-pull when you get that nice pump. And so it is definitely a fun split. It is enjoyable. It is very viable if you program it right. And you can meet the requirements you want. So not a bad split by any means at all. Would recommend it if you are starting off. But at the same time, we got upper-lower. Easy S tier. I put it above full body, and I know I might get my head cut off because of it, because some people may disagree, but I do think it is better. And just hear me out for a minute, okay? With upper-lower, I don't have an image here. You're basically doing upper, rest, lower, and you repeat. Or you can do upper-lower, rest, right? And then you just repeat it, And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? And then Saturday. I don't like doing it like that. It's not my thing. I like doing upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, or even just doing upper, lower, upper, rest, and then repeat. Or depending on how I'm feeling, right? With my system, I could handle a decent amount with upper, lower, especially with how I've been sleeping and eating and taking care of myself. I've been able to handle more frequency. And so what I like to do is upper, lower, I just keep going until I need rest, until my body tells me I need a day or 2 of rest. I will rest and rinse and repeat. And I've been making insane gains. And so upper, lower, let's say even if you just run the regular one, you can get upper, lower, upper, lower. So that's already 2 times frequency, 4 days on, and you could just rest for the rest. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you can just rest the weekends like push-pull legs. It is very similar in that sense where you program it, but it is way simpler when we're together. You just do one upper, then you do upper again. And sometimes you'd rotate some movements in the sense where, let's say you're hitting chest, right? You only want to do 3 sets in total of chest. So 2 incline and 1 flat press or vice versa. And so on the upper A, you could do 2 sets of incline, and then upper B, you could do 1 set of incline. and then do 2 sets of a flat press and vice versa. So you can really program it. It has lots of flexibility and not only time. Well, depends. Upper can be time consuming. You know, if you're not locked in. Lower, it's pretty fast, but it is a lot of fun, at least for me, you know, getting everything in, getting a nice pump. You do lose some of the pump by the end, especially if you're focusing on other muscles, but it is very nice intro workout to see that pump. You know, you feel good, very good for growth, you know, because at the end of the day, your first set to failure is the most important. So you're doing at most up to 3 sets, 2 sets at most per movement. So very good, very optimal in my opinion. I put it S tier, lots of flexibility. You could take quite a few rest days off and still get your 2 times frequency. This is very good. I would recommend it to everybody. So that brings us to what is the best split. There isn't an exact best split, so to speak. The best split is what you can stick to, right? So if we look here at the splits, you know, I put bro split at C, and you know, arguably it is a C tier split, but if it is something that you love doing, right? For some reason, you just love doing that split. Same way, for some reason, I just love doing upper, and I have my reasons. If you have your reasons for loving bro split, stick to it. You know, don't follow the crowd. If you love it and you know you can stay consistent with it and train hard and rest well, do it. So what's stopping you, right? If that's what's going to keep you in the gym, keep you grinding, eating, stick to it. So at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? If you're just hitting everything at least once a week, you know, and just training it hard, you will grow still. And so that's how you find the best split, is what you enjoy, what gives decent frequency, good recovery and volume, and flexibility. That's what it comes down to, because everyone's biased to theirs. You know, I have my one friend who's big. He biases anterior, posterior. My other friend biases to push-pull legs. I bias to upper, lower. It's because we all enjoy our own ways and we all make progress through it, right? And so that's how you find what the best split is. It's not a split's not going to magically save your workout. So if you do like this content, if you do agree with what I say or disagree, let me know down below. And if you would like to see more, please subscribe and like, and let me know if you'd like to see more of this. Peace out, guys. Goodbye.